so wacky into set. Like,
it does.
You can't
That's
poke
what
him
it
down
is.
with spears. You can't beat him in a straight up 1v1 because he's set and you're another melee champion. I'm going to be really interested in seeing how they play this out because it feels like they just picked themselves into a pretty poor matchup for Broken Blade. Maybe it's all just about abandoning.
That's definitely how it feels.
Maybe it's all about abandoning it. You just get out of this lane as fast as possible. You gank bot at level 6 with ulti. You try to affect the rest of the map. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. There's no need for me to theory craft it. It's going to unfold right in front of our eyes here in just a couple of minutes as the teams are out onto the Rift making things happen. TSM, they've got everybody hanging out here in the bottom side. Maybe we're going to get some level 1 action, my friend.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Man, that last pick is so surprising to me. So, like, Pantheon actually is still wicked strong early on into the game. So, even though Set will likely overpower him in many mid and late game stages, if you time the right gank top, he still has a huge amount of CC and burst that you can hope to work off of, but it just doesn't seem right to me. This seems very odd, and I'm curious to see what TSM has planned, because I don't feel like they would plan to just run this in just like standard lane Pantheon versus Set.
We'll see. I am withholding judgment until evidence is provided that I don't need to do that anymore. At which point, I will bang my gavel and judge away. But for now, we're going to wait and see. Maybe this is some secret off-meta tech that has been crafted in underground TSM laboratories for the entirety of the split, waiting until the time is dire to deploy. We'll see.
Yeah, well, that's all we can really do. I mean, it's been a very up and down, surprising season for TSM. They pulled out a Kiana top in one game, had great success with it, right? They've taken these little draft gambits on many different occasions and had success with them. And I mean, even looking at this early jungle path while we're talking about the Pantheon, it was more, well, gotta watch out a little bit in the bottom lane. Yeah, I mean, it was more about like, let's early invade and just overpower the jungle here, make it so Broken Blade is always feeling like he's playing strong side and allow him to posture early against this Set. Meteos, based on what's happening early on in the jungle, is going to have a hard time keeping up with Olaf after having his Red and Raptors on the jungle. And what? Okay.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on a second here.
That's it.
Broken Blade just stabbed him. Just right up there. And
I mean,
oh my goodness.
Level 2 Pantheon is super strong. You get your empowered W, you 3-hit him, you can auto another time, get your empowered Q. Let's see if this is what he does here. So Someday uses his E. Yep. You can see he gets the empowered W, he gets the normal Q off, and then he autos again and gets his empowered Q off. That's it.
And it just kills him.
We don't see this matchup often. I'm just going to say, we don't see it often, but that's what TSM is thinking, clearly. So,
and for anybody who wasn't paying attention,
apparently there it is.
Chat said it. He said that although you would expect Set to run Pantheon over later, early on, Pantheon is, and I quote, wicked strong early game. So, that is the wicked strong right there.
Yeah. Now, once Set tanks up a little bit and gets points in his W, you lose the ability to one-shot him. So Broken Blade needs to play around this solo kill positively, but that's still a pretty promising start.
Yes, that is a very promising start for TSM there in the top side. Pantheon just farming up to his heart's content now, jumping right back in, continuing to trade aggressively against Someday, who does use the Haymaker there, but Broken Blade, he just drops that Aegis protection and makes it so he blocks the damage and continues marching forward.
Yeah, he's already gotten a recall in. Dardoch is scouting Meteos throughout this. There is no assistance arriving early on for Someday here, so it's free time, really, for Broken Blade to continue to try and bully this guy as long as he's winning all the stat checks.
27 farm to 20 farm. I'm also interested to see what he goes for itemization, because oftentimes you see Pantheons go for these glass cannon lethality builds just made to jump into the back lines and one-shot carries. But against Set, that's pretty much guaranteed to fail, at least in a side lane, right? There's no way building lethality you'll ever do much against Someday because he can just grab a chain vest and go, all right, sure. But
Yeah.
will he go? Do you think he'll go for more of a bruiser build? Are we going to see something like a Black Cleaver?
It's possible that he goes Cleaver for more CDR and more alts. Usually, you are thinking that like Ghostblade is pretty core on Pantheon. I still kind of feel like for Someday this is a lane that he needs to get to Ninja Tabi and a couple cloth armors for, and he'll probably be completely fine. So that's why Broken Blade, you could see, kind of went for that early roam. He's trying to freeze Someday now, as he has Olaf up here, and they're going to at least try and burn his flash.
Broken Blade, going for the play. There's your stun. Follow-up damage coming through, and Flash is expended.
Yeah, and now no teleport, no flash, and the wave pushing against him. Broken Blade should look to hold this freeze as long as possible.
Cody's Sun under pressure here in the bottom side. Forced to flash away as well. TSM getting summoner spells across the rift here 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it feels like 100 Thieves is a little bit shell-shocked, as we are, that the Set who's normally this kind of untamable lane bully who threatens 1v2s just kind of got popped at level 2 and now is a weak side top laner that needs help.
Yeah.
Is really strange because you have the Callista Taric who's now able to play much more aggressively. Meteos is getting further and farther behind because of the type of coverage he's had to supply to his lanes. And yeah, TSM is 1,200 gold up, 6.5 minutes in. A great start to Game 3.
Kabe and Biofrost just continuing to control these bottom lane 2v2s. 12 CS up over their opponents. Of course, there is a little bit more to farm up underneath the turret there for Cody's Sun. Dardoch on the Olaf is on one of those champions that you can just never play aggressively against, as almost anyone. He can control any sort of neutral territory in the jungle. He wins pretty much every 1v1. Now he's made his way over to the Drake. He can solo that one down incredibly easily, and that will be a first Drake secured for TSM, no contest, while on the bottom side. All right. Looked a little dicey there for a moment for Kabe, but he gets away.
A really interesting moment here because that's actually more damage than TSM would have wanted to take down bottom, since Dardoch needs them to have wave pressure to pull off this invade. He's looking to full cycle, or at least I think he's looking to full cycle the blue side of 100 Thieves' jungle, and then they're going for a dive. This is a Pantheon teleport.
He's already going.
Into Pantheon ultimate.
He's already going. He's deep. He teleports in.
He's deep.
He immediately ulties straight underneath a tier 2 turret. This is absolute balls to the wall play from TSM against 100 Thieves, forcing the bottom lane away from the tier 1, back behind the tier 2, and providing an absolute incredible advantage early on for Kabe and Biofrost.
I'll also say that that play didn't work. It worked, like it worked in the sense that they got flash and exhaust, but that's still 4 plates sitting on the bottom turret. That is the CS advantage gone. That is the teleport advantage going to swap back to 100 Thieves. That is an experience advantage for Someday, and it allows him to tank up. I also think that is his early advantage spent. So all things considered, I think that was actually very positive for 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves are happy to have Someday close those gaps. They are happy to have this guy get in a spot where he doesn't feel so incredibly solo pressured by a Pantheon. But at the same time, TSM still have control over this top side of the map for the time being, and they will use that opportunity to go right for the Rift Herald.
Yeah, they use that bottom lane pressure to transition up into the Rift Herald. So definitely you can see TSM trying to push the tempo as much as humanly possible. Knowing that they already have a wave pushing up in the top lane as well, I think Dardoch would love to be able to just use something down, or rather use that Rift Herald top lane, but 100 Thieves posture enough that they kind of get Dardoch to fly back over wall, and Dardoch, I think, needs to farm a little bit here to keep a gap between himself and Meteos. His camps are up and he farms them super fast.
All right, the last time we saw Broken Blade going down bottom lane, it was the most Chad of Pantheon plays, the teleport into the ulti, just trying to slam people in between 2 turrets. Now he's just heading back there the old-fashioned way, hoofing it down to the bottom lane as the lanes have flip-flopped. It's Broken Blade versus Someday on the bottom side. while you've got Kabe and Cody-san with their respective supports also 2v2ing up there on the top half of the map. Dardoch still farming up, has the ingredients for the completed warrior item in his inventory, but has not got enough gold to combine them. At least the last time he shopped, he didn't. That is a massive power spike when you complete the item. Gives you a ton more AD. Broken Blade trying to run away now. Has to flash away from the face breaker. Someday nearly finding the setup there for Meteor.
Yeah, Broken Blade's got to be very careful now, knowing Set and Gragas ultimate are still up and he's flashless. He's wanting to prevent himself from getting frozen on right here, but Someday has the wave right outside of his turret and is kind of baiting Broken Blade to step up more. He doesn't think Meteos is still around.
Meteos just took a swig. You know he's ready to go. Broken Blade with the spear onto the two minions.
Once Olaf shows, he'll go.
There you go. All right. Broken Blade now going to be knocked back by Meteos' ulti. Someday looking to chase this even further. That was not what I was expecting at all. Broken Blade gets away, as Ryoma may be in trouble. Bjergsen, he goes for it, and the Emperor's Divide will put Ryoma in between Dardoch and Bjergsen. It will trap him away from the Blast Cone, and that's the second kill of the game for TSM.
I gotta say, Someday and Meteos have really looked out of sync for a lot of the plays they've tried to pull together this series. Dark has no ult, though. Oh, sorry, he just used it.
Okay. Well, there you go. Meteos is chopped down. Broken Blade shows up, throws the spear at Someday, but they don't want to go underneath the turret. They know that diving Set is often a treacherous ordeal, considering he's got that massive shield with the Haymaker. And all right, we're just going to see Dardoch go home.
Well, okay, so TSM continues to extend their lead. For some reason, I thought Dardoch had used his ultimate in the mid lane kill on Ryoma, and then I saw that it was on cooldown. Meanwhile, he's actually just using it to murder Meteos.
Giant and red.
So, yeah. But what that does do is it solidifies the 2-level advantage that Dardoch has. Most of this does come down, I feel like, to Broken Blade for being able to withstand that Gragas ultimate. He's still got to watch out a little bit for Someday, but just consistently is still winning these trades against the Set. And as long as he can do this, the pressure is immense for TSM, because like part of this draft for 100 Thieves is that Someday is going to be this relatively strong point as the Victor scales up, but that has just not been the case.
And Someday tried to defend himself underneath that turret, but considering it was a total of 4-man collapse from TSM, there's no way that's happening. TSM making sure they get rid of that third plate before summoning up the Herald. That means Shelly will make sure her true damage takes out the tankiest of the plates. First turret over the side of TSM. And as they're moving over to the Drake, the big thing in this matchup that I wasn't thinking about when I first saw it in Champ Select and I was so skeptical of it, Set wins trades because of one thing. And that one thing is the key in between Q and E. It's W. That's what it is. This is Set the champion. It's W. The Haymaker decides how he wins trades. And Pantheon just gets to press E and take no damage from it. It doesn't matter if he's in the center or on the very edge, right next to the guy or at the very tip. Even though it's true damage, he blocks any and all damage directionally, and it makes it so Someday just can't win these trades. It's actually really clever, and I'm so glad I reserved judgment, because I would look like a real goofball right now if I tried to say there's no way this ever wins, this is absolutely terrible, 100% can't do it. And then Broken Blade did this, because this has been that secret underground lab tech that we were talking about.
Yeah. We were both definitely very skeptical, but as you mentioned, just like thinking of how the rest of the spells interact, like sure you can E the Set W, but you can also get most of your burst in before Set can activate his shield, because Broken Blade jumps in with the stun, gets his hits in, taps his Q, then Someday can press W, but he's already taken the damage. So in terms of the short snappy trades, they can be in favor of Pantheon. Where I could still see the lane going back to Set though, is when that burst isn't enough, and then you use your E, and then Set just ease you back into a stun and starts pounding you with his Qs and auto resets. You'd still think that Set can win the extended trades, but I do have to give full credit to Broken Blade and TSM for having the confidence to pull out this pick so far and jumping out to the 2 Drake, 1 Rift, 3,500 gold lead 14 minutes into the game.
It's looking great for TSM 14 minutes in. Bjergsen on the Azir, 1-0 himself, has a CS lead. Everybody has a CS lead for the side of TSM so far. Cody forced to flash away there. TSM once again looking to make the plays. And this is looking more like the TSM from game 1. This is the TSM that are always trying to set things up, and it's 100 Thieves consistently on the back foot, trying to stabilize Someday, get him to the point where he's not just bleeding out against Broken Blade's Pantheon. Worth pointing out, too, there was no build adaptation early on, at least. Broken Blade has gone for that Ghost Blade. It is fully completed. It means if he gets one of these Grand Starfalls into the back line of 100 Thieves, he will do a ton of damage to whatever carry he finds, and now Biofrost and Kabe are going to be in some trouble. Biofrost tries to get himself away, but there's no Callista ulti to keep him alive. Now Bjergsen's trying to find some damage, but he's going to be caught out of position. Chaos Storm nearly going to burn him away. The last tick will get him, but it's also going to get a kill onto Ryoma. This fight is all over the place, and Broken Blade is not looking to stop here anytime soon. CC comes down. They kite away, but 100 Thieves will likely lose this tier 1 turret.
They'll likely lose another turret. Broken Blade is able to teleport down, but that was really close. Getting 2 kills back onto TSM with that type of deficit is kind of a small victory that 100 Thieves is going to be trying to build off of. Again, they're in kind of full containment mode in trying to stop this Pantheon and Olaf from running over the game, because eventually I do think the Victor set MF will still be able to get pretty strong. They just need to try and take these small victories where they can get them.
Yeah. The one thing that I always remember whenever I see an Olaf in a game and he's off to a fantastic start, and the one thing that I think every Olaf player, whether you're playing him or maybe you're up against him in your own solo queue games, has to remember is he's Olaf. And he does this at the beginning, and then he turns into a melee minion with a Viking helmet later on in the game, and he doesn't have the same impact. Obviously, I'm speaking in hyperbole. He's more effective than a melee minion, but the champion falls off very heavily compared to most other champions as the game moves forward. When you look at something like a Cetera Victor, yeah, TSM, they need to be proactive. And honestly, I think this comp is a great chance for them to showcase their ability to move past those weaknesses we were talking about in game number 1 that they had early on in the split, where they would have a good early game and then sort of just sputter out in the mid game. If you do that this time, you lose. Olaf and Pantheon are not going to carry you in the late game against a composition like what 100 Thieves has, so they need to make sure they keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, they need to make sure they get some golden kills onto the Azir and the Callista. It's interesting as well that Dardoch has gone with the Righteous Glory. The more common build second item is the Black Cleaver, just for a little bit more damage, but this is more about trying to make certain that you're finding access to your key targets, and to me actually says they're going to continue to try and pick on Sunday's set. It just gives them a better ability to run down a relatively low mobility champion who right now they're able to kind of out-duel, but for now they just pick up the Rift, move it straight mid, and they're trying to get the rest of this out of it.
Can 100 Thieves collapse and punish, though? Looks like they will be able to find themselves a kill onto Bjergsen, and that is a big one. Meteo's now going into the stasis, keeping himself alive. Cosmic Radiance coming through. TSM looking to make the fight go even further. Dardoch going to find the kill onto the enemy jungler. 4v4 now. Someday there on the front line. Chaos Storm down onto 2. It's going to be a retreat from Dardoch as Someday finds the slam on the Biofrost from the top rope. And now it's Broken Blade also in the dirt, and 100 Thieves are striking back.
That's exactly the type of fight that 100 Thieves wanted to get. So they kill Bjergsen before he's able to do absolutely anything. And then TSM, because they have been winning so much and really wanted to be able to pick up this third Drake so they can accelerate their chance at an Infernal Soul, continue to opt into the fight. Meanwhile, they still do have to deal with all 5 members of 100 Thieves, and they just can't. So they're just setting up Rift, and Bjergsen thinks that Meteos isn't there. Bjergsen thinks that Meteos is taking the defensive path to defend from that Rift Herald, but the patience for Meteos to be in that spot is huge. The fact that he buys so much time as well is beneficial, and then here, this 4v4 turn, by the way, Victor still has ultimate. So the rest of TSM can't actually back him up, and Kabe ends up also having to flash away from the Someday set ultimate, and it's a big, crucial fight win for 100 Thieves.
Absolutely huge for them. They're still down about 3,000 gold, so they still have some ground to make up. But the biggest thing is what you said, I think, at the start of your breakdown. The soul has been put on hold. There's not that... What's the word I'm looking for? It's like
Impending doom.
yeah, okay, that's a little bit more serious than I was going for, but considering my brain is just derping out right now, there's not that immediate need to answer on all subsequent Drakes, which is a big thing for this team. It allows them to buy time moving forward. And hey, here's something. Last game, and the game before it, because they were the exact same, you talked about how Biofrost on Tahm Kench was building Knight's Vow first instead of the Gargoyle Stoneplate, when on almost every tanky melee support in Season 10, you rush Gargoyle Stoneplate. Well, this time around, he's built Shirelia's Reverie. And I think that's especially interesting when you combine it with the fact that Dardoch has that Righteous Glory that you mentioned, because it means TSM are looking for every go button in the book. And here we go with Dardoch. We're going to start things off. He's exhausted underneath the enemy turrets. He's collapsed on. He's going to be taken down, most likely. No, he won't. Not just yet. There's your shutdown, spread it over to Someday, and it's 2 TSM bodies on the ground. 100 Thieves have managed to grab those at the cost of their Tier 1 turret, but what else can they find? It's 20 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Baron is live, but 100 Thieves do have injured health bars on jungler and mid laner alike. They do not feel comfortable going for this play, not with Broken Blade and Bjergsen still alive. Someday now found out in his own jungle. Blast Cone attack there, and Someday gets away.
I kind of feel like TSM just lost control of the game. That was a play that was sloppily executed because the turret lived for far too long. And now 100 Thieves can look to just retaliate. They're going to, I think, at least get the flash out of Broken Blade here. Meteos got Predator Boots. He sees him.
Meteos.
Broken Blade, you're in trouble.
Oh, Broken Blade. I don't know if the Aegis protection is going to be enough to save you here, buddy. Someday I'll just keep on moving forward, or maybe it was. Broken Blade stays alive. Powers up the spear, throws one back.
Coming to back up.
Bjergsen is here. This could be a big turnaround for TSM if 100 Thieves overcommit. Bjergsen's able to take down about half of Someday's health. Broken Blade was kept alive by that Aegis protection. The empowered E, it does so much. And there comes your Shurima shuffle. Meteo's down. Someday's down. That is 2. Make it 3. Stun's going to be joining him here in only a moment. Kabe grabbing the kill there. And that will do it. TSM with a big win in the bottom half of the map.
Blue team's turret.
That was a big play by Bjergsen to turn that around. They had just lost the fight in the mid lane. It looked like Broken Blade was going to die in the side lane, but the rest of TSM stayed calm, cool, and collected. They slowly moved to get that turn, and then they could have just said, all right, we saved Broken Blade, let's pull away, but they go all the way in for that kill, and now, since they're still dead, they're trying to go for Baron. That's a big bullet time.
Bullet time takes multiple members of TSM incredibly low. They're not willing to run away from the objective. They are trying to commit, and it's going to be secured by Dardoch, but where is the fight going to go? Dardoch stuck on the front line. He's going to be taken down. Someday now the target. Biofrost having a flash out. Cody's son in hot pursuit. Kabe taken low, taken down. Double kill over to Cody. Meteos still looking to chase
Meteos has flash.
further. There comes the ulti, but it's not got the angle onto Bjergsen. Broken Blade here on the front line. Once again, trying to use the E. Not going to get out alive this time around. Baron was taken, but only 2 men still stand wearing purple.
Well, this game just got a whole lot more interesting. Back and forth and back again. Let's just take stock of where we're actually sitting now. So Cody's son is huge. He's the one who's just been picking up kills here and there to now be 5-0-5. Broken Blade is no longer stronger than Someday's set. The set has also gone more tank than damage, so he is really hard to kill, even if Bjergsen is the one that's hitting him, I think, at this point. And we have the Infernal Drake coming up in a second that I think 100 Thieves is actually just going to be able to get. Look where Bjergsen is on the map right now with no teleport after picking up the Baron, just kind of sticking around to farm. TSM's not going to be accelerating towards this Infernal Soul. 100 Thieves can just take this.
100 Thieves will tie the Drake count up between the teams, but that is the opportunity for TSM to get control in the other lanes. Bjergsen shoving down that top side. Remember, it's Biofrost and Bjergsen that still have the Baron buffs ready to go. So Bjergsen does have some extra push capability up here. Should be able to knock down this tier 2. A few more auto attacks will do it. Nashor's Tooth makes it incredibly efficient to take turrets as a split-pushing AP champion. You'll see that red buff stolen away there by Kabe and the rest of TSM as well. They're setting up shop in the top side jungle of 100 Thieves. They've got their sweepers out. They've got their control wards down. They're trying to make this unsafe for 100 Thieves to exist in their own half of the map, and they'll continue pushing up while they do so.
Meteos has snuck behind TSM. and is trying to be clever. The way TSM kills turrets is with a very coordinated dive, since Kalista is a short-range AD carry, and they have a Pantheon who really needs to get in. It's going to be tricky, which is why Meteos is actually trying to engage. Bjergsen's not here. Here we go.
Sumday's already started off the fight, but the Cosmic Radiance has come down. It's going to be keeping the TSM members healthy right now. There's the Haymaker, nearly able to find the kill into Dardoch, but Kave is now the sacrificial lamb. Even though the Radiance kept them alive for a while, it's still a win for 100 Thieves.
So it's really cool how Someday has gone so tanky on the set here. He's basically just buying time during the Cosmic Radiance and still not dying. So while TSM was trying to split with Bjergsen, Meteos never gave up his flank position, and 100 Thieves just kind of went all out for this fight. Still anyone's game.
This series is actually incredibly competitive. The first game made you think, okay, maybe we're going to see another one of these 3-0s. But the second game obviously proved not, and now this third game could still go either way. I am still convinced 100 Thieves has the better late game composition, but TSM have showed that they can really put up when it's time to put up or shut up, right? They were able to make that play in the bottom side. They were able to get the Baron off the back of it. And it's all coming down to execution now, as Stunt will find another max range dredge line. Remember, these were critical in finding picks onto TSM members in that second game. That 100 Thieves won, and now they have control over the mid lane push and the top side push. Broken Blade pushing up the bottom side. That's the one part of the map TSM have that control over.
And we got to see there how much damage the tap-taps from Cody Sun's Misfortune are doing. Biofrost went down to about 40% health in half a second from an auto Q from MF. And that's kind of the world we're living in right now. So you brought up the Shirelia's Reverie, Tarek, earlier. It's pretty common. I saw Core JJ do this as well. I've seen it on some other Tareks around the world. I think part of it is just about, while you have the Cosmic Radiance, it doesn't matter what your items are. It just matters that you're close to people to kill them.
Makes sense.
But it does leave you really vulnerable unless you're willing to burn the Kalista ultimates. Because basically everywhere Biofrost goes now, he needs to start channeling R, likely just get Kalista ulted so he doesn't die before the channel finishes and then get thrown in. It just makes the whole exchange so much more delicate. And looking at the rest of TSM, Broken Blade has gone Black Cleaver and a little bit more bruisery. He in no way can threaten Someday anymore. This is not level 2. This is level 15.
This is absolutely.
And Someday is mega tanky. So I would wonder, unless he gets the right circumstances, Broken Blade might not even be able to 1v1 Cody Sun. So this game, with another Drake coming up in 1 minute, still really up in the air. The death cap on Bjergsen means he's the primary carry and damage dealer that everyone has to worry about. With no MR on Someday, since he's actually committed so hard to this anti-Pantheon Olaf Kalista thing, means that 100 Thieves has to focus Bjergsen. Otherwise, Bjergsen will probably carry the fight from the back end. I'm just looking forward to see how it explodes, because Stunt is very willing to engage.
Yeah, Bjergsen also having the flash means we could see a big Emperor's Divide if he has the angle, if he gets the chance to fire that one off. Flash is available on all 5 members of 100 Thieves. That Exhaust is the only summoner spell that is not currently ready. It should be up and running by the time the Drake fight begins. Over on the side of TSM, everything's ready except for Biofrost's heal and Kabe's flash. That lack of a flash on the AD carry could be a pretty big difference here when everything else is up and running for the upcoming team fight. Both squads kind of just staring each other down right now. They know that the play is going to be the Dragon. Meteos walking into the brush. Find a little bit of vision onto Biofrost there. Throws a cask out. Won't get much more value out of his Predator than that. As the
Broken Blade's looking for a good alt angle. Notice how he's at Raptors.
He's calling for it. He's calling for it. Pings are going out. They are going in like wildfire. Dardoch's there on the front line. Righteous Glory coming out. He is unstoppable. The Tarek ulti trying to keep him alive, and it'll do just that. But 100 Thieves are in a darn good spot. Meteos grabs the kill onto Dardoch, and with the enemy jungler dead, it's 100 Thieves looking for even more. Kave with a hop, skip, and a jump straight back to the spawn platform. There is not enough mobility to get away from that one. 100 Thieves will move on to Soul Point, and they will ping to move on to the Baron.
That engage did not work at all for TSM. Very deftly kited back by 100 Thieves. Unless the Pantheon ultimate puts him in place, you can't follow up on that engage. I feel like right after that Pantheon ult didn't get a stun, Dardoch can't run in like that. The Cosmic Radiance didn't really do anything because no one else was in range to follow up, and they make it an easy teamfight win for 100 Thieves, who not only are now one off of Infernal Soul, but also have brought the gold back to even with that Baron kill.
Absolutely big swing in power here for 100 Thieves, and TSM is at what I call the Olaf impasse. They had a good early game, things were going all right, but the clock hit 25 minutes, and now you've got Olaf. So things are becoming a lot more difficult because of the fact that Dardoch doesn't have as much decision-making power. He doesn't have as much ability to impact the fights in the way that he wants to, especially when the enemy support has exhaust. I mean, you saw what he did when he ran into that fight. It's exactly like you said. He can't run in like that. But when he's Ragnarok,
well, he's the
only one.
He's also like a tanky Olaf build. He did Righteous Glory Spear Visage rather than going Black Cleaver or like Black Cleaver GA, where you can use the Cosmic Radiance to try and one-shot someone. Now, it's very close to being over if 100 Thieves find one more good fight.
Broken Blade on the front line. Ghost Blade activated, looking for a little bit of damage here. Finds one spear on the Meteos, but that is it. Dardoch trying to throw out a couple of axes here just to find whatever poke they can. Remember, the Soul is still not active for 100 Thieves, so need one more Drake to grab that one. Baron is going to be active for the next 2 minutes. Stun goes in, finds a little bit of CC onto Broken Blade, going to be taking some damage of his own. Pops the Stone Plate to make sure TSM can't engage.
Getting Stone Plate out is a small victory. TSM is really just trying to buy time for this Baron buff to be out, since, you know, as we mentioned, one more lost team fight would be the game, but they have a whole host of problems to deal with. We're talking about how are they supposed to engage a clean team fight? How are they supposed to kill Set? How are they supposed to actually kill the people who do damage in Ryoma and Cody?
Many questions, my friends.
Yeah, because they'll need a really good Pantheon ultimate, but he's gone with the Black Cleaver into probably Steric's Gage next build, which doesn't have enough burst to do that if he finds the right angle. So win conditions are slim. I feel like unless they find some type of godlike angle onto Cody Sen and Ryoma, and Bjergsen can make some Shurima shuffle play, but like even that, as I'm thinking about it, you still need someone to do the damage after the shuffle. And this is not the way you do it.
The damage is being dealt, but it's being dealt to Dardoch, who manages to get himself away, but has to expend ult and flash and Righteous Glory to do that, which means he is not in a spot to participate in any sort of PvP gameplay until those cooldowns are up and ready to go here again. That's blue inhibitor down in the mid lane for 100 Thieves. Only 20 seconds left on Baron, so I doubt they're going to stick around to push much more here, but I'm going to call that a winning Baron power play.
I think so as well. Gold 100 off at this point. Really, it's about this Infernal Soul. If MF and Victor, who have now scaled up into the late game, who already are quite strong thanks to the 3 Infernal Drakes they picked up, but if they get that Soul as well, it's potentially not even going to give time for the Taric Ultimate to complete channeling before they can burst down actually anyone on the TSM roster. So really important. I think TSM's going to run this one back. Broken Blade's going to try and find that flank engage and maybe get a better Pantheon off this time.
Dardoch's got the Ragnarok ready to go here again. Bjergsen pushing up in the mid lane. The rest of TSM all around him. He's got 5 items. It's got to be the Azir show at this point in time. Everybody else...
Did they just catch videos?
TSM needs to be helping him out. There comes your Pantheon ulti. This is a big pick here for TSM with the Drake spawning before Meteos revives. This guarantees them soul denial.
Meteos, so greedy with that flank. He'd pulled it off earlier in the game to kind of bring him back, but it's not necessary at this moment because they're actually winning the 5v5s. Even still, he positioned to try and get the flank. TSM sniff it out. Now, they can actually just push off this soul and likely take it uncontested.
Yeah, I don't think there's any world where 100 Thieves move in to contest this with no jungle.
Wow. That's unexpected. That is the type of play you were just hoping to get if you're TSM. Everything has gone against them for about the past 15 minutes. They had that early lead. Their Pantheon engages were poor. Dardoch burned Flash in mid lane, trying to run away and stall at the last Baron. And this just lets them kind of exhale for at least a minute until Baron is up and give them another chance to try and find a fight. And then the cherry on top is Midos doesn't have Flash anymore for an actual engage. So it's harder for them to actually get engaged on. But if that happens again...
Oh, Dardoch.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. It's... the 8 people in this game are playing League of Legends, and the junglers are playing catch, just throwing the game back and forth to each other, seeing who's going to drop it on the ground first. And it's these massive mistakes that, honestly, that's not acceptable at this point. You've got to be mindful of where the enemy team is. That exhale that you were just talking about that TSM got to take, well, I hope they're ready to hold their breaths again, because now things are going to get tough right back at them.
Yep, 100 Thieves gets control of both lanes. They can get control of the Baron pit, and they know the Dardoch is still dead for another 10 seconds. Just caught clearing wolves at 35.5 minutes on Olaf is not how you want to say Game 3 of your elimination playoff match was clinched. Here we go, though. 100 Thieves looking for an engage.
Cody going in. Stunt trying to find some CC, but Sunday's already brought him right back in, and that is Bjergsen, man. That's not a target that doesn't matter. That is the one dude on the map that you needed to kill off, and 100 Thieves are going right to the Baron.
Gotta say it, that looked like a tilted play by TSM. Moving out like that before they were even 5 strong, not good enough vision control to see what angles 100 Thieves would be able to attack from. And 100 Thieves got exactly the target they need to take down. We mentioned some days probably 200 plus armor build right now. The only thing that can threaten him is that Deathcap Void Staff Azir. They eliminate him real quick. They pick up yet another Baron for this power play. Bjergsen is still down, and they're looking to crack their second inhibitor of the game.
10 seconds until the Azir is alive. Once he's up, he will have the divide, he will have the flash, but will he have the time to counter what 100 Thieves are doing? They will go ahead and retreat. They don't want to overstay their welcome. Everybody's going to be heading back to base. They'll take the blue on their way out. Remember, the Drake is spawning right about the time the Baron runs out, actually. So 100 Thieves will have the opportunity to pressure the TSM base for the next couple of minutes, and then as that Baron is fading away, they can retreat back to the Drake pit. The next Elemental Drake has to be the last one, Jack. There's no more. You can only have 7 maximum, and we've already got 6. So this will be the soul.
If they even take it. Because with 2 inhibitors down, Captain Flowers, 100 Thieves, one more pick, they can just end the game.
True.
The momentum is so heavily, it's so heavily in their favor right now after there was just this onslaught of plays attempted by Broken Blade's Pantheon early. We're definitely seeing the other side of that coin where we're saying, okay, why would you pick Pantheon into set? Because when you get to this tank set stage, Pantheon looks rather useless. And all of the kills the Cody Sun picked up during this chaos are really paying off in this moment. Just, you can't walk near this Victor MF backline of damage before they just blow you up. So TSM has really struggled to find the right play. And yet someday can push in this double set of Baroned up cannon minions because TSM doesn't really have the damage to kill him. So he's just sitting there.
Just chilling.
Powering him up so they can kill that turret.
Having a good time. Giving him the Baron buff blessing. As mid lane will be pushed up by the remaining 4 members of 100 Thieves. 55 seconds to go on the Baron power play. Cody Sun, by the way, just casually being 0 deaths after 38 minutes of gameplay. So many back and forths between everybody on both teams. But now it's the engage. Now it's Broken Blade coming in. Cosmic Radiance going down. Damage down, and Emilio is going to be going into the stasis stunt here on the front line. Able to find the CC someday in the back line. Looking to find the damage onto Bjergsen, but now it's going to be health bars dropping all over the place. Cody Sun, legendary, and a death onto Dardoch is going to be the start of the casualties. Bjergsen is now in stasis, surrounded by 100 Thieves. And with him gone, this is surely the end of the game. 100 Thieves, 5 men strong, pressuring onto the Nexus turrets, pressuring towards that Nexus, and they are going to take us to match point. They win the 3rd game of the season.